Good evening and welcome to another exciting episode of Entab presents CampusCare EdTalks, a platform where educators share their viewpoints on burning topics related to education. The NEP 2020 is the first new education policy to be introduced in India in the 21st century. The last having been introduced in 1986, 34 years ago. That is a big time sure for all of us. The National Education Policy 2020 is aimed at a robust teacher recruitment and career paths on one hand, and holistic development of the education sector on the other. The new policy has proposed several modifications to change the face of education in India. It also focuses on transparent requirements for the teachers and overall students' learning. To be more precise, NEP 2020 promises to make India a global knowledge superpower. Among other things, the NEP 2020 proposes a slew of reforms to school education with a focus on flexibility on subjects and eliminating silos between streams of learning. One such reform includes a mandatory degree of B.ED for a teacher. To talk more about avenues to be explored and ideas about the same, we have with us an experienced educator who has more than 28 years of experience in teaching. She has been the principal of CBSE schools for the last 19 years. Presently, she is the principal of Maharishi Vidya Mandir, Lucknow. She was an integral part of Sarva Siksha Abhiyan. Her sound education background, passion for teaching, and enriched experience in the education field provides her with greater insight to hold such training in the utmost satisfaction of an individual. With this, I would like to welcome Dr. Abha Bhaarat Shah, ma'am. Welcome to CampusCare EdTalks.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. So we welcome you to this platform. And so, ma'am, what do you think about the B.ED technology? What do you think B.ED should be there? To begin, can you please help us, our viewers, to comprehend what exactly the changes can we anticipate from the new education policy and B.ED qualification interlinked with it?
You see that NEP 2020 has introduced many changes in the school education as well as in the higher education. It has changed the 10 plus 2 structure of education into the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 corresponding to the age groups. 3 to 8 for the foundation years, 8 to 11 for the preparatory years, and 11 to 14 years as the middle stage, and 14 to 18 years as the secondary stage. Thus, it expands the age group for the mandatory schooling from 8 from 6 to 14 years to 3 to 18 years and introducing the 3 years of preschooling by Anganwadis. It also says that until class 5, the student should be taught in their mother tongue or in the regional languages. Since a school will now require the teachers who can teach in multiple languages and have knowledge of the new age subjects, courses like your computational thinking, coding, etc., introduced in the school level under NEP 2020. So the changes in the B.ED courses will also be required and will be done accordingly. As per the new education policy, by 2030, the minimum degree required for the teaching will be a 4 years integrated B.ED program, which this program will also allow a specialization in the gifted children education. For teachers, uh, some of the special courses will be there for allowing them the specialization in the education of gifted children. A common national professional standard for teachers will be developed by National Council for Education, Teachers Education by 2022 in consultation with NCERT and SCERT.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for telling us what all does the NEP holds for us. Ma'am, our viewers would love to know more about the B.ED qualification, but whoever is watching the show, please do hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon before we proceed so that you can get regular updates about exciting sessions like these. So, ma'am, as we continue, what are the predicaments that we presume in this move in NEP 2020 to mandatory degrees for B.ED for the teachers? Could you explain to the audience, please?
Your voice is
Oh,
your voice is disrupting, ma'am. Please.
I am so sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, can you tell our viewers what are the predicaments that we presume from this move in NEP 2020 related to mandatory degrees of B.ED for the teachers?
You see that for becoming teacher, B.ED degree is essential today also. Teachers education is a program that is related to the development of teachers' proficiency and competency of that would be required to empower the teachers and enable them to meet the prerequisite requirements which this profession requires, and also the B.ED helps the teachers to know the teaching skills, sound pedagogical knowledge, and you can say the professional skills also that is required for a teacher to become an efficient teacher in the classroom. So I don't find any difficulty in making B.ED mandatory for the teachers. It is a prerequisite today also, and it more or less I'll say that it helps the teachers to become more efficient in their profession.
Very rightly said, ma'am. You were very accurate. But, ma'am, after the difficulties, can you help us with the advantages of these reforms for teachers and the students at the same time for their holistic development according to the new education policy?
You see, for giving best in any profession, specialized professional education is required, which enhances the skills in that profession of a particular person. For example, engineer requires engineering degree. Doctors requires medical degree for becoming a doctor, and they choose their profession just after completing their intermediate. So why not for becoming a teacher? This profession, the teacher should, or the student or a child should decide it after 12th only to become a teacher and get the professional knowledge of becoming a teacher. And you, as the teacher, as a teacher student now, I will say, enters into a B.ED program, it helps the teacher student to become more proficient. And as I said, the teacher education encompasses teaching skills, pedagogical skills, or pedagogical knowledge, and professional skills. Teaching skills, the different techniques, approaches, and strategies that will help a teacher student to plan and impart their instruction, provide appropriate reinforcement, and conduct effective assessment while they are going actually into the classes. Pedagogical theory includes the philosophical, sociological, and psychological considerations that would enable the teacher to have a sound basis for practicing the teaching skills in the classroom. Professional skills includes the technique, the strategies which the teacher student or a teacher is using in the classroom, and approaches that would help the teacher to grow in the profession. An amalgamation of all these three things, that the teaching skills, pedagogical knowledge, and professional skill, would serve to create the right knowledge, the right attitude, and the skills in the teacher, thus promoting holistic development of this.
Yes, ma'am, very rightly said. So, ma'am, as we were talking about the skills of teacher, so a lot of emphasis has been paid towards attaining more skills apart from the B.ED degree, which is, I think, very significant and a positive change indeed. According to you, what are the skills that a teacher must acquire?
You see, for me, a good teacher is who can motivate the students and furnishes their students with the values and ideas which transform them into a good citizen. The teacher must have a sound academic knowledge, effective communication skills, strong organizational skills, leadership skills to guide their students into a right direction, have a good command over their subject, effective communication skills, confident, creativity is required, adaptability is required, and a teacher should be innovative also, along with the ability to empower their students to be critical thinker, innovative, passionate, adaptable, and flexible. Nowadays, as online classes are going on, so technological skills are also required to manage all these classes. And a good teacher should also be able to change their students into a lifelong learner.
Yes, ma'am, you rightly said. We all are learners right now. There is no age for learning. And, ma'am, as you were talking about skills of the teachers, as a school leader, there are so many challenges that the teachers face in the classroom in their entire day. So, how can the mandatory degree of B.ED support them to cope with all the situations they face?
For me, the main challenges, if you see, you can go into, there are the three main challenges which a teacher always faces while the teacher is in the classroom or inside the school. The first is balancing the different learning needs of the students. The students in the class, they are different type of the learners, and their learning styles are also different. So their different learning needs that a teacher has to understand, and then accordingly they have to plan for their learning. Secondly, the teacher faces the balancing with the expectations from the school admin. As a principal, we have a lot of expectations that the teachers should follow the timeline, finishes the work within the time period, and they should be able to achieve the goals also. So the teacher not only have to ensure that each student in classroom is learning and engaged, they also have to make sure that they are in the lines with the goals of the school. And the third thing is the challenges in helping the students as well as their parents to make a long term goal. Sometimes it happens that the parents and the students, they are not understanding what is right for them. So the teacher has to balance all these things. So these are the main challenges. And now, how B.ED degree helps them to make them more efficient. Newly visualized teacher education program emphasizes learning as a self-learning preparatory process, participatory process. They say that it is not a one-way teaching. Instruction is not going on. The two-way teaching and learning going on. It is a participatory process taking place in a social context of the learner, and not only of the learner, but also the social context of the community and nation as a whole. So education is having a paradigm shift. It is becoming uh, from teacher centric to the learner centric, giving learner an autonomy to choose the subjects. No bar is there that with mathematics you have to choose physics only, chemistry only. or biophysics, chemistry, like this. They are saying now that n number of the subjects are there, and you can choose. Have a total autonomy in picking up the subjects. So with mathematics, you can choose accountancy also, or maybe the mathematics you can choose music also, art also. So this autonomy they are providing, and not only this, they are providing them with the multiple and divergent exposures also. So automatically the teacher's role is going to be increased. In such a situation, teachers' education has a very important role to play, as it will be providing the teacher a base to deal with all these changing situations. It will provide the teacher a sound pedagogical knowledge. It will empower the student teacher with the skills that would enable them to carry on the functions in the most efficient and effective manner. It will help the student teacher in developing insight into the students' psychological makeups also. Because when these such changes are going to come, teacher does not have to only balance their learning style, they have to see their psychological problems also and deal with this also. So this all will be helped out to them with the B.ED proper education, where they will be understanding not only the philosophical ideas of the education, they will be taught the sociological scenario of the nation also, of the that community also, and as well as the psychologically how to deal with the
Very rightly
student.
said. So, ma'am, as we were discussing about the challenges, let's move to the other side of the grass. Many crucial reforms are suggested in the existing educational policy, the NEP 2020. According to you, ma'am, how these big changes in schools and the education policy will lead to big benefits too. We talked about the challenges for teachers, so I hope the challenges would bring benefits too.
Yes, benefits, first of all, it will be for the students. It will help the student to develop the scientific temper from a very young age. When they are more allowed to take the risk, not only and experiment also. So they will be their scientific temper will be developed, and it will promote the value based education also, and it will be emphasizing on the development of the various skills among the students. So, more the skills are developed, the children will be able to be qualified, more skilled learners, which will be able to become self-employed rather than running for the job,
Rightly said.
or and increasing the lines of the job. They will be able to become the self, and that will be the biggest benefit, that they will be the service provider in spite of the service seeker.
Very rightly said. I hope we all become service providers rather than service seekers. Very rightly said, ma'am. Now, ma'am, B.ED programs will allow specializations in the education of gifted children. Ma'am, please share your viewpoint on this, please.
As emphasis on inclusive education is increasing day by day, all the teachers should be trained in teaching the gifted children. In my view, I feel the best practices in gifted education will improve any classroom scenario. Since the methods that are used for the teaching of the gifted children are based on differentiation, knowing your student, meeting their needs, high level thinking, and creativity development. These all concepts simply make sense when it comes to the real classroom teaching. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I feel that the gifted education will be very, very important. And this is why I students engaging and making a place where learning is becoming relevant, more meaningful, understanding each child's strength and not only their strength but the preferred learning styles also their interest and then developing the learning plans and projects based on the various the informations which we have collected automatically that will be the best practices in education and the classroom scenarios will be entirely changed.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for expressing your views for gifted children. They surely need this, and I hope your message is reaching the right ears. So, ma'am, as we were talking about technology before, that they should be a part of skills of the teachers, we know technology plays an indispensable role in every sector, not only teaching. So, should there be any technical course for B.ED too, for teachers as well?
Looking into
I am so sorry, ma'am. I think your voice is breaking. I don't know.
and we online how to evaluate the children, assess the children, how to conduct the examination. There, it is a different situation, and we have learned in this short span of time to use the technology as it is becoming an integral part of learning nowadays. You can say that it also will become an essential part of the B.ED education also. And the teachers will be rightly taught how to use the technology in the classroom and how to make the children aware of what is right and what is wrong with the technology because there is a lot of trash also in the Google and when children are using the technology they are going into that trash also and then they are not ready to accept that they have whatever they have learned or whatever they have seen on the Google as they have seen it in the Google for them it is correct that is a right information so the teachers will have to be smarter than the children so that they can teach the children into a right direction they can guide them better they can move them into to know what is wrong, what is right, and how to avoid the trash and how to collect the correct information and go ahead with
Yes, ma'am,
it.
we completely agree with you. Technology, the teachers have to be one step ahead. So, ma'am, as we come to the end of the program, would you like to convey any messages to the teachers and parents out there? Anything you have to say to the teachers?
For me, teaching is more like painting a picture or making a piece of music. You have to put your and whole heart into it. Today, the role of teacher has changed from the instructor to facilitator, collaborator, and the mentor who transforms the lives of the students. I will end with the lines for the teachers. Every morning sees some task, every evening sees its close. Something attempted, something done has earned a night's reward. That's the life of us or the teachers that we have put.
So
Thank
beautifully said, ma'am. So beautifully
you.
said, ma'am. Very right and very beautiful. Ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today. And I'm sure the viewers have learned as much as we have. So thank you, ma'am, for your time and thoughts on B.ED should be mandatory for teaching. Indeed, ma'am, it was a wonderful session. And to all our viewers out there, if you've not yet subscribed, please hit that button and click the bell icon for regular updates for more sessions like these. Thank you for your time with us, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Good evening.